B.
The reading?
Yeah, the reading.
About like 25, 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, once again, please feel free to interrupt if you have any questions or anything you'd like to mention, really. I do see you have um, majority of your energy in Virgo, which is very magical, but a huge deal. A really huge deal, actually. Wow. Yeah, your Sun, Moon, Jupiter, Venus, Pluto. That's profound.
I got a whole big ass stellium there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um,
kind of heavy sometimes.
I can imagine.
Yeah. I like try to get things done, and there's too many things I want to get done. And I struggle to. I don't know if I struggle, but I manage to get as much as I can done in a day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, Still, that's a lot of mental energy and physical energy you must go through in a given day, which could be super stressful, but at the same time, I wonder if there's anything that even escapes your glands. I feel like this is I feel like this is borderline supernatural at this point. Um, I'm kind of interested in understanding how you harness this energy because your sun and moon are closer to the 12th house of the chart. So
Right.
it's going to give you a profound ability. I mean, of course, to see the details of life itself, but I feel like it's at an even deeper level to where you're seeing the details of the details. Like you might even see the actual atom particles, or at least be very aware of certain things that haven't been seen yet. I feel like energy like this, it kind of, first of all, Virgos actually are, and you would be no different because you're not just a Virgo. You're born 68, so you have Neptune and Scorpio, and even this Aries energy is going to be pivotal to how you can transform with this trigger. But I see this as like being aware of the uncertainty principle that governs really conscious manifestation. And it's like before certain people see something exists or even know it's real, um, it's like the Schrodinger's cat that you don't know if they're dead in the box or alive in the box. But it's like I would almost think you represent that moment before the box is open or you're seeing inside that box of infinite potentiality, which is like counterintuitive because Virgo represents that specific finite point.
Okay.
This will probably reflect on how you could witness this in others because Neptune is opposite your Virgo energy. So all this energy, you're now in a position to project or at least hold space for to see all these details. Or I hate to even stress details because it's just going to really bring in the totality and then see into an extra dimension with all that within others, within the souls, the windows of the souls, or to people through their eyes or through their aura, and outside of that, this Virgo energy is gonna carry with it a manifestation property that allows you to literally mold and make something from nothing. Because there is a real magical property to Virgo too. And I'm just really stacking these definitions because it's important to stress the power. I mean, you live with this energy, but all this in your first will also indicate how well you could recreate yourself and work on your own personality and image. But I mean, we have Pluto and Uranus here. Being instrument of these two give you an extreme intolerance for fakeness, and it really just like makes you an instrument to obliterate that which isn't founded in truth, and you'll just be a radar to kind of like shake that out of systems which are founded in falsities. It's just important to know the extent at which such energies are attracted to you and you're drawn to it for the sole purpose of just fixing it because it's still a frequency, even if it's like a certain sense in ideology or thought. If it's not really true, of course, especially in its if something physical was not even made in truth, that in itself will cause some kind of reaction to at least come from your aura. And this will be important because you don't have Capricorn or Taurus, but that does not take away from the fact that your tactile sense and touch has magical properties that will range from anywhere from, you know, psychometry, you picking up all sorts of information from what you touch, to influencing whatever you touch. I mean, we have Jupiter here involved too, so that 12th house influence is just going to really add a divine level to the ultimate nature and the hindsight of facts you receive, to where it's supplementing what you already see. All these things with your progressed Mars in Virgo highlighting this will really add frustration. A lot of this Virgo energy, it can add a lot of frustration because, for example, dark forces may be able to use this, or any such negative energies could be able to use this hyper focus you have against you. But then again, this is where Saturn and Aries will apply protection, and then Pluto and Virgo, because in a counterintuitive way that may make it on the surface seem that you're pushing people away and you have very harsh boundaries, but couldn't even be further from the truth. It's really just more so allowing zero tolerance for anyone who's just not real into your inner world. And it's just kind of an automatic detector of this. Things to keep in mind because, once again, with Neptune in Scorpio, this makes you extremely telepathic and extremely psychic because it's one thing to have this psychic energy where everyone in that generation has foresight and will just know, like, if someone's lying, or will just know how to gauge someone's emotional response psychologically. But then this is supplemented by all the facts and the details you're able to look into in a single moment. Which, I mean, we have Merlin, the asteroid, Pars of Fortune. It's a really great part of like abundance for you. Um, Something that Jupiter, which is return, has evolved, and now that it's in your third house, it's evolving how you form your skill set based on these innate gifts and talents from you. So the kingdoms we have at Aries with Saturn, it deals with others in a harsh way, but it's not really harsh as much as it is straight up and direct. Um, it, it's going to anchor this energy so that way you transform into this more raw self where your destiny is aligned. You don't lose control, if anything, and also you don't necessarily come into um, any unstable balance through shifting energies with all that mutable sign energy. I kind of see it as like an anchor And it also trines your Mars and Leo. So Mars and Leo in the 12th could be hard sometimes for dealing with anger, but usually it will help when you're able to apply this forward towards any, you know, interesting means that enable how well you directly act based off of what you're aware of. And Mars in the 12th um, will usually indicate secretive action where you take action privately. I mean, that 12th house fire will also indicate keeping private your more ambitious or vibrant fire and excitement. Why 12th house Mars is in Aries right now? It's close to the 11th, but it's so close to the 12th that it's like it's progressed there, and it it a lot of what I do is like personal. I mean, Aries is also saying like too, but because you have your North Node in Aries closer to the 8th and the 7th, this will extend your destiny forward towards compromising and being in relationships. But it's an Aries, so Aries is less about compromise and literally about doing what you want to do.
Right.
And in the context of how you want to establish and define a relationship. It's seventh house Aries is you defining relationships based on how you define yourself. And it's so close to the eighth house that your resources of who you are, the resources of your security and how you build security will help you deal with others in this raw and authentic way. Because with Saturn on the North Node, this means that you're here to not only give people judgment of karma for who they are, but Chiron will even offer healing. So it's like if you fall on this is a bad example, but it's like if you fall on a good judgment, you can normalize them and help them. If not, it's like you're stamping with Saturn their karma. It's actually very powerful to have Saturn in the same sign as your North Node because it gives you a very it could be very difficult and challenging to deal with this, but it adds so much karmic power personally for you, which makes your actions that much more impactful, which is very much so a double-edged sword. And since I'm sorry, your progressed sun is in Libra, this is allowing you to feel off the South Node level, really helping you master parts of your personality and how you gain security through forming valuable partnerships. So when we take this lunar eclipse now in Leo and Aquarius, which is coming out of your 6th and 12th house, you're establishing through the advanced techniques that the South Node has been uncovering for you and that you have been putting into motion, you're gaining an important level of spirituality. And this is manifesting through how well you can reach into the hearts of those who are lonely. And it's not really so much about loneliness, but it's a theme here because it's what will tie in people who on the surface may have nothing to do with each other. But because Mars is being triggered here, the power of your heart is going to be evolved and unlocked. It's just a lot of how you take action in these I say spiritual ways because it takes into account a more of your intuition and your heart's impulse of what's going on ultimately versus the surface that will really guide and lead you into also a more creative way of connecting, a more creative way of harnessing this power and energy, and most importantly, definitely a creative way to anchor most of this power through your subconscious force into your being. because this Mars energy is still progressed into Virgo right now, but the 12th house, 6th house eclipse energy focuses a lot on coming up with greater ways to balance these advanced techniques. Technically, the 12th house will indicate, the 12th house, 6th house indicates service work and helping the downtrodden, or at least dealing with certain facets that help you fine tune your spirituality due to the isolation part of the 12th house. But this is more so going to once again reiterate how your developed behavior utilizes your telepathic and psychic ability in order to reach a deeper place within people's hearts that you'll find triggered by the way you act without necessarily even speaking to people. And this is going to slowly move into the 11th house. The eclipse will be around 15 degrees, but it moving out of the 612 into your 11th, 5th will start to take the resources of your advanced talents and great talents and begin to connect you to your social circle and tribe. It's a little bit different when it's the south node in the 5th instead of the 11th, because you're instead of gaining resources of people who naturally gravitate towards you, now it's more so you bringing forth and brushing up your already amazing talents so that you can go connect with this group. And a lot of Mars being very close to your 11th house, just in the 12th, will incorporate a lot of how this shifts. Once again, though, because Mars in the 12th is going to be aspected by Jupiter, it's currently in your third house. A lot of how you inspire this private action will be dependent on what you'll be communicating and how your attitude will be transforming based on what happens when you take certain private action. And it's showing you more so the deeper significance and meaning of the things you're aware of and the techniques you employ, as well as the way you generally overall live your life. Um, it's a little bit difficult to speak on both Scorpio and the 12th house Leo because most of this is really dependent on your behavior and certain private, I don't want to say things, but just a certain mode of privacy that you enact, which will enable things close to you. If you found that anxiety has been triggered, it's because the North Node is releasing, and that's vague to say because there's a lot of things that'll cause anxiety. But if you found that it's more around, even getting some sleep or a lot to do with your sexual energy, the North Node is releasing a lot of pent or built up sexual energy in an effort to facilitate its evolution and shift. Um, a lot of the actions you will be taking will lead you a lot towards the right people who mirror these concerns so that you, in an effort, can show people how to deal with certain things they may not be willing to share publicly. And that's really that eighth house, 12th house hidden aspect that isn't even so much hidden as much as it's more subconscious and, you know, in a certain level, psychological. And I think one great thing about this is the North Node transit is trining your North Node in Aries. So this is going to align with your karma already. And a lot of how you sort through these private lessons will directly relate with how you can relate directly towards others and fulfill that important part of your karma. We also have Uranus that's close to your Saturn around this period. So once we step into May and this slips into Taurus, you will immediately be feeling this evolution as electricity will shoot through your fingertips and augment the way you deal with others in a very creative way that makes physical a lot of these impulses instead of just mental in your head and just in your aura. Um, when we have this moon transit from the lunar eclipse, the moon will transit from your 12th to your third. And that first week of that eclipse period, as we open the portal into the solar eclipse, will help utilize how you have grown from 6 months from August 2017, really laying the foundation to really develop more of these advanced techniques and skills that you take all this magical ability you have and stick and exert, gaining forth knowledge you've either channeled and downloaded or really just uncovered, through your experiences to, apply into your life directly because any such any such techniques you gain have been augmented halfway through in October, November when Jupiter went into your third house. So a lot of these techniques have been, of course, complemented by the evolution of your attitude and skills, where Jupiter has been taking your emotional intelligence and increasing the depth to which you could add a lot of your flavor to because of an increased awareness and more so a deeper understanding of why people do what they do around you and the purpose of such. So that now, once the moon does hit Scorpio, maybe the first week of February, or yeah, no, definitely the first week of February, it's just really going to utilize what you're ready to what about this evolution of your attitude you're ready to apply directly to these advanced techniques. I mean, the purpose of the solar eclipse isn't more in reverse to take these advanced techniques and to fully, now push forward to what spiritual techniques or really what spirituality you develop through this, the spiritual lifestyle that I say spiritual lifestyle, but really the quality of heart you maintain so that you keep all that passion in your heart and you stay motivated because of the love that you allow to spur you on, but also the courage and passion that spirit uses or spirit is in a position to inspire you through. And as the moon travels from Scorpio to Aquarius to that solar eclipse, this will supplement this evolution of skill set, having you show how much you've grown into practical ways to develop this through your talents. And then, of course, really start the solar eclipse where you're establishing what your routine and lifestyle is based on this. Although being closer into your fifth house will illustrate the need to balance these routines and techniques with your talents and with what you're already doing to, with Saturn in your fifth house, really structure a lot of what you're already gifted at and what you're willing to express fully. So, yeah, do you have any questions?
Yeah. One thing I'm struggling with is all these directions that I want to go in. I was divorced in 2015, August, and ever since then I've been living in my mom's house. And I realized I need to get out of here. But I can't because I work part time for her, doing apartment buildings, managing property managing, and that actually is enough to pay my bills for the most part. And now, this past week on Sunday, I went out to an industrial park, and I went to see all these different places. It was about 45 to 50 places that I went to in the industrial park, and I took the names of the companies down, and I was going to go in there and on either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I haven't done the intel yet as far as figuring out what all these companies do. Um, I've had a lot of jobs. I've had a lot of jobs that I've been fired from, and also quit. Like I had six jobs, no, six jobs that I quit, and three jobs that I got fired from in the past like 4 years. So my resume looks like shit. And
Mm.
before that, I used to be working for a dealership of ADT. I used to knock on 100 doors a day. So that's where my magic. I saw my magic happening when I was working that job. It was 100% commission. I did it for 3 solid years, and I made really good money at it.
Nice.
So what I was thinking about doing is going out to these businesses and seeing if they would hire me. But from the looks of it, my resume really looks terrible. It looks like it's like what's this guy doing with all these jobs? I may end up going back to my old boss, which probably was what's going to happen. But I want to try this out for myself, see if I can get a job without going to him, and then going to him and having him hire me back, and I could work, full time doing that. But I also have YouTube stations that I want to start up. Well, one YouTube station in particular, um, Spellcaster Johnny T, and it's about my Know Thyself journey, because this past 3 years I had this journey of Know Thyself, where I learned about astrology, numerology, and a bunch of other stuff like that. And I also finished writing a book called Water Slide Time Machine Portals, which I have in my hand right now. And this is a
Yeah.
proof right here. And I gotta finish going over it, and it, and then finish. I have some errors that I found. So probably in the next couple of days, that would be sent out for another proof. And then when I get that, then I'll publish the book. It's a poetry short fiction book,
Hmm.
and so that's like the stuff that I have up in the air. Um, I really I have like about 900 audio clips that I um, have made of me going through my process of knowing thyself with astrology, Myers Briggs. I have an ENFP, and all these different things. I have like these audio clips that I've already pre-made. So
Nice.
putting them together on like a conveyor belt, putting them out, it was going to be easy to do.
Yeah.
So I got all this stuff in the fire, and I'm ready to like do something. And I'm also a recovering drug addict. My clean date is in November 1994, so I've got like over 23 years clean, no drugs or alcohol.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. So my sponsor told me, he's like, John, man, he goes, because I was going to do a part-time job. He's like, John, forget the part-time job, do a full-time job, because if you want something to get done, give it to a busy person. And he said, get the full-time job, and then in a couple months, get out of your mom's house, and then you'll be able to fit. It's 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, and 8 hours of whatever you want to do. He goes, you'll be able to do and structure your own time and get everything done. And I think that's the plan that I'm having right now in my head.
Mm.
And so I mean, I don't understand what progressed means. I don't know what it means. So if you could explain what a progress chart does, because you said something about Libra. My son's in Libra now.
Yeah, your progress charts just take your natal chart and they progress the energies. A day, every year will be a day in the Affirmus, let's say.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, so based on today, your progress chart birthday is as if you were born October 12th, 1968, and it shifts your chart there. So your progressed Cancer moon now with the Libra sun.
Uh huh.
But I think what's more key here is a lot of what you kind of indicated with not just the work and the YouTube and the pre-record material is great. You want to definitely follow through with that because that makes a lot of sense now. Where the Jupiter and the third is coming through, and you're ready to move forward, don't worry about the job because you have an MC in Gemini. Anyone who I've ever read who has an MC in Gemini or Sag, they have to have multiple jobs because
Okay.
the universe has to use you to set the job straight. It's not even that you had multiple jobs. When you went to those jobs, you enlightened people to the truth of the upper level management and you kind of corrected and fixed some stuff and then on to the next job. Even if it seemed on the surface that you might have gotten fired or quit in a certain place. In fact, you'd probably be the one quitting because you had to move on to the next job. So
Right.
that's actually meant to happen. It doesn't look the best on a resume, but definitely follow your hunches toward whatever job you want to apply to. The tools for self-employment are definitely here for you as you have kind of built yourself up there. And a lot of the stuff you've gone through with even your ex-wife was purely karmic. So
Mhm.
the universe itself has to reimburse you. So you're just not really caught in this rock and hard place. Saturn just got out your fourth house of home. So that's what's going to clear up energy, especially once Jupiter goes here closer to 2019. You will have an opportunity to move into your own place. And it's already in the works now.
In 2019, you're saying?
Yeah, and way before that, because
Okay,
it's
before.
in the third house. Whenever Jupiter's in your fourth, this is what gives you the opportunity to get a new place or to move. And Jupiter will leave Scorpio October of this year, but you may find the opportunity to move before then because it's in your third already.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Alrighty, I've sent you a tarot card to your Skype chat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I get the Two of Cups. There might be a new relationship with this Queen of Pentacles. The Six of Wands is indicating that you may connect with her online. And it's really just more so speaking of you sailing towards a positive future because at the end we have this Fool card. The Fool card is going to be indicative closer to mid-February
Okay.
where you're standing your ground on whatever you have, but there's a brand new like adventure and phase that will facilitate everything that you're wanting to accomplish already. So definitely the stuff you're patient about and having focus. I really feel really good about these audio tapes, and it's going to be really great for you to release them and to really detail your journey because a lot of people do need to hear it more than you're aware, and I think you'll see that turn around. So
Great.
yeah. If anything, this eclipse period will set you up for greater work because the sixth house is the house of work, and it's definitely going to hook you up there. And but it's more so to bridge your own spiritual energy with whatever physical work you really do and or provide. So you stay blessed. Once again, I'm going to email this recording to you right now.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
No problem, man. You stay blessed.
All right, be good.
All right. Peace.
Peace.